our YouTube audience to Valorant Challenger South Asia, driven by Hyundai, and you can already see Excali with a nice swagger, okay?
Yeah, and for those of you who are not familiar with who is Kaizen, he is Sensei. He goes by both names. Of course, Kaizen being the more recent one, so keep an eye out for him. Then comes Doma, Mr. Reliable for Velocity Gaming. Pixels, on the other hand, has been a hit-or-miss character, but every time he gets into the groove of things, it's really difficult to stop him. Eccles, fancy footwork, good moves.
Oh, wait, what's going on here? Okay, Eccles. Eccles is looking pretty fine today. He's looking pretty sharp, I'm not gonna lie. Then you've got Deathmaker as well coming in on the stage. The last time we saw Deathmaker perform on this stage, he dropped some nice kills. And if I'm not wrong, on the map of Pearl, Deathmaker was able to get 20 kills in itself. And of course, Eccles were at the top. But again, Deathmaker, I'm loving the fact that he's always there stepping things up, even though he knows that he has his counterparts always trying their best. But Deathmaker is one of those duelists you can always rely on getting those frags.
I like how Dav and Rapid just basically gave each other a fist bump, probably the most simple walkout that we've seen so far. But every other player that you saw, they had a little gimmick, you know? They're either staring at each other or giving each other the "I'm watching you" that kind of symbol. Sometimes they even try to, you know, extend a handshake and then just back away at the last moment. So you can tell that these players have put in a little bit of effort into their walkouts, even discussed it with their counterpart on the other team.
What are they talking? I want to know. I'm going to go right in between and I want to just listen to whatever they're saying, man. But hey,
I mean, if you try to invade their group huddle, I guess they will notice you, you know, you're not very subtle about it.
Yeah, true that. I'm not going to be too sneaky, man. I'm a huge man, but anyways, maybe I can try to be one of them, you know? I can wear the VLT jerseys and I'll be like, all right, guys, I'm here to support you guys. I can
camouflage.
Camouflage, yeah, pretty much. Maybe they'll not notice. But jokes apart, here we do have the map veto in front of us. As always, VLT is gonna go for that Lotus ban instantly. True Rippers is gonna follow it up with a Fracture. But VLT, what map is gonna be picked by them? Haven, as I said, we can expect those basic maps once again, and that's what exactly is gonna happen. Haven's gonna be played. That's gonna be the first map, and then second map, True Rippers pick. Let's find out what's that gonna be. An icebox. Okay, I'm down for this.
Yep, I was really hoping that we don't get to see an Ascent or anything today, even Split for that matter. I kind of don't want to see it. I'm hoping for something like Pearl, but will we get it? It all comes down to this one. And they ban Ascent. We are going to Pearl, ladies and gentlemen. By far, this has been the most exciting map video for me in this entire tournament so far. You can call me biased, but I do not like Ascent and Split. I just have a little personal bias against them. I don't know. This is a hot take. You're welcome to at me on Twitter for it if you want.
Ooh, okay. Well, look, I'm not gonna lie, I've seen Icebox played yesterday as well. Now today as well, we're gonna be seeing Icebox being played. But in the future days, I want to see Lotus being pulled out by some of those teams. I really want to see how these South Asian teams are gonna be performing on Lotus. But for now, let's move on over to the Agent Select, as we do see True Rippers disrupt on the Jet. Wimp, as always, is gonna be sticking to that Killjoy role. RU on the Breach, Pixels on the Astra, and Kaizen on the Sky. They're pretty much going to be almost a similar composition, but instead we're seeing the SOA being pulled out.
Yeah, they pulled out the Sky instead of the SOA in the hands of Kaizen, which is great. You know, you put a flashing initiator in his hands as a secondary information gathering guy, and he's going to be amazing. We already know what he can pull off on an agent like KO. Sky should be similar. She's got the ability to gather information as well as do a little bit of flashing action to set up her duelists for success. I think this should be quite a good lineup for True Rippers, especially when you're going up against a team like Velocity. You will often be able to see Velocity on every part of the map. They spread out quite a lot. They like to cover a lot of ground. So instead of gathering information, if you just pick up those flashes and go for the fights, I think it might serve True Rippers better. But we'll see how this pans out, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to head into Haven. True Rippers on the defense, Velocity on attack. Let's get this show on the road.
4 players stacked on the A side from True Rippers, and they're really heavily reading this, but it's going to be a misread because every single player is just stacked on the C side from the side of Velocity. They're on the C long, of course, making their way inside the site. Doma's there with the lineups as well. He's going to be tossing some swamp grenades inside. Nano Swarms are going to be tossed in. True Rippers, they've got a huge flank coming from the back. But is the players of Velocity Gaming going to expect that? Of course, there is a turret designated to looking at the flank as well. The turret will be taken down, and now the flank's known. Every single player just marching towards Doma, and he's going to be greeted with 4 players in the front. True Rippers, they're going to start stacking these bodies on top of each other. The shock dart was there, but nothing found.
Sheesh, True Rippers, they're like a choo-choo train of death. They just run over Velocity Gaming. It's like roadkill caught on the tracks, and Velocity Gaming are dissected like that. I would be scared to go up against True Rippers when they're, you know, in this death train mode. They just group up together. It doesn't matter if the seaside control was given away early. I mean, yes, Wimp was alone towards the garage region. The only man who was not playing along with his team. He was the one responsible for keeping an eye out. And as soon as he gave the call, the rest of his team made absolutely no... They wasted absolutely no time in rushing back.
Oh. A force spy coming in from Velocity Gaming. They got the plant down, so they're instantly going to be investing inside the force spy. We saw the similar type of strategy being used yesterday as well, just to sort of put a little halt to the opponent's entire momentum they had. For now, VLT, inside this entire eco round, inside this entire force spy round, so far they've at least got the side entry, and Doma's able to follow it up with 3. That's a huge play. Doma stepping up to the occasion, stepping up to the mark, but now there's a flank coming in from the back in the name of Wimp.
Yeah, and Doma doesn't have any preemptive utility to alert them about this incoming flank, so they will have to keep their eyes out. Meanwhile, Pixel is making enough noise towards the defender entrance, so he's hoping to distract them from the fact that Wimp is arriving, and they finally check him out. Velocity Gaming on the verge of securing this round. Hellfighter playing for swing, you have Doma playing contact. He was the player who was low anyway, so as soon as Doma goes down, Hellfighter will swing out. Great round by Velocity Gaming. They even upgraded to a Vandal, so it's amazing. And unlike ASTER Army or any other team like that who do not go for the force buy after they lose pistol, Velocity always go for the force buy. You know, they have this tendency to do so.
It's a good thing. It worked out in their way as well, sort of also throwing in that surprise element inside the game. But now True Rippers, they're going to be pulling out the Sheriffs and the Shorties. Of course, the Shorties holding the close quarters, not letting anyone surpass. Tremor utilized to stun the players, and VLT, of course, this push will be stopped for now. Or slowed down, as you can say. The classics are going to start to burst, and it does find one, but that's all they're going to be able to find. Instantly, you've got the players of VLT following it up with 2 of them. LFF was the casualty. But again, as we all know, it's just an eco round from True Ripper, so we cannot really expect a lot from that.
Yeah, you can't. But I like the initiative from True Rippers. Velocity often use that nebula to gather control of a long, and they just do it by just cutting off the sights, you know. They can sneak up on the back of that smoke, and True Rippers will not be able to see whether they're approaching or not. So the fact that they go for this flash and peek, I think it's quite nice. That too in an eco round when you don't have much to lose. Obviously, if you start doing stuff like this in a buy round, it would probably yield you a lot more kills. But even then, True Rippers have the right idea. They've stacked up the A site. Shorty revealed. Pixel trying to be cheeky, but they won't find anything.
Yeah, Wimp is the last man alive with a Shorty in the hand.
30 seconds left.
Anything to pull off at this point in time is next to impossible. With just a Shorty, you got nothing. You will need to wait for the players to walk in your crosshair. And VLT, they're quite aware of that fact. They did spot out 1 Shorty, so they probably know that the second Shorty is waiting for them. And hopefully no one's going to be pushing out over here. And Doma's going to be the man who might just be a little impatient. But first of all, he's put up a turret, and the turret's not going to spot him! Oh, that could have been close.
Yeah, the turret just... You can see the timing on it, right? The turret was looking away, it started looking towards him, and there you have it. The moment it saw him, he jumped in. Quite a lot of notable people in the audience today.
Yeah, Antidote sitting in the audience. Interesting. He's
like
a spectator. He's probably noting down all the strategies. He's probably noting down every single round in his head.
And as far as I know, Antidote, he's the kind of guy who's probably already aware about these strategies, you know? He's already done his homework. At this point, he's just confirming whether his theories are true or not. Just confirming the hypothesis. A double aggression towards a shot, so Disrupt isn't the only one. Even Kaizen's present. Nah, but he's missed the opportunity. Yes, the Trailblazer will probably hold back Velocity for a moment or two, but Velocity already have what they need. A kill as crucial as that early on in the round gives them so much freedom. And up until now, except for maybe the pistol round, every other round Velocity have been going towards A.
And only one player has been spotted, and that was HellFF. That's it.
Yeah.
Both the times, even if Disrupt got taken down, HellFF was the one who took him down. And the second time when the Trailblazer was invested, HellFF was spotted. Lockdown as well, utilized. A huge investment coming in from Velocity. They really do want this A-side control in their hands, but Deathmaker's going to be unaware. Kazan takes the fight to his face, and now got 2 stuns right back to back. Cannot really defend himself that well. Smoke as well is going to be blocking a little bit of Wimp's vision, but unfortunately that works out in his favor. Velocity, they lost out on 2 players, and now it's a 1-on-2. Pixels, he's got a nice chance to win this. Turret on top of the box might just give his position away, but it's holding the defender spawn, and as it does, Pixel manages to find that player. 2 HP left in the hand, and with a dream as well. Won't be able to clutch it out, but still, HellFF stepped huge.
Yeah, HellFF always the man reliable towards the end. Almost always the last man standing for Velocity Gaming, but he will definitely secure the round. Probably has one of the highest clutch percentages at this point in the tournament. That being said, True Rippers, if it wasn't for Wim's double kill, this round would not have looked so close. The backup for True Rippers, it was kind of spotty. First they lost Disrupt towards the bottom of a shot, then even Kaizen put himself in danger. Everybody on True Rippers just dying one by one, so there's not too much trade potential in this round. And that is a concern, you know, when you're going up against a team like Velocity, if you're not able to trade each other out properly.
Yeah. Ooh. Excali peeks out in his crosser and shuts him down. Those are one of those disrespectful moments. But it's okay. He didn't have an operator. That was just a marshal. So it's understandable he got taken down like that. True Rippers. The sights are being taken away like it's nothing, like it's a piece of cake all the time in Velocity. They're forcing them out of their own comfort zone. Deathmaker on top of the box, looking to glow some heads, looking to hand out some haircuts, and he will finds one. RU's shoulder was spotted through the smoke, and that's a nice shot. Wimp cracks the skull open. Disrupt the man to go. Deathmaker is a man unleashed.
And there you have it. Before Wimp can wreak any more havoc, he's been lining up some quite nice kills in the last few rounds. The double in the round before, a nice juicy one tap with the Sheriff now. Can't wait to get this man a Vandal in his hands. Then we'll probably see some carnage.
Speaking of carnage, I mean, Velocity, they're running away with the lead. True Rippers, they aren't able to capitalize. They're trying to throw on some unpredictable moves. They're trying to go aggressive. But those aggressive plays are being read like a book by Velocity.
Yeah.
A tactical timeout.
Most of the times when True Rippers go for these aggro moves, it's almost always towards a shot. Except in this round. They finally showed up towards Garage. They finally started peeking out of that region as well. Of course, it was, you know, all alone. You have Kaizen peeking Garage by himself, and the other guy towards Long. Doesn't really give you too much to work with, but I'm glad that True Rippers are taking risks like these in these eco rounds. You know, where else will you pick up risky situations and try to turn them into gold where you don't have too much to lose? So I'm glad that True Rippers continue these experiments. But the important part is, whatever you learn from these experiments is supposed to be implemented in the next few rounds. What do True Rippers know about Velocity's defaults up until now? I don't think they know much. So all this information they gathered, how will they put it into action?
Oh boy. Disrupt. Going for that operator. But I'm not a huge fan of this. The players are pushed up quite close. The flash should give it away, and yeah, Disrupt instantly falls back. A good move from his side. And they're also going to be investing the Rolling Thunder, a huge one! But the Rolling Thunder is not going to be able to pretty much stun Kazan, so for now he's alive. And for now he was there, but instantly he was being taken down as well. So Kazan, outside of the game, 4 players still up and alive for True Rippers. VLT, they've got the odds stacked against them. And Disrupt top is now going to start striking the players down.
If only this Cosmic Divide came a second earlier, then probably Excali would live to fight this day. 2v4. Doma and Hellfighter have their devices. The Rolling Thunder goes through. Disrupt jumps instantly. He knows there's one player underneath. Somehow the Cosmic Divide protects Hellfighter just for the time being. And they're able to isolate each other. Doma, my goodness, what a lovely spray down. It boils Hellfighter down in a 1v1. And this man is always reliable in these clutch situations.
He just never loses those duels, Hellfighter.
Spike down A.
And what impresses me more is that he doesn't even play the duelist role and is still able to be so consistent in those duels. If you're going to be going for a one-on-one duel against Hellfighter, this man's confidence is at all-time high all the time. And VLT, they pretty much just flip the tables.
They definitely flipped the tables, dude. Doma just flipped my head 360 degrees back in its place again because that was a ridiculous spray transfer. They didn't even line up for him, you know. It was just him being absolutely talented with that gun. And Doma turned it around. Hero performances from him keep Velocity in the lead and they keep True Ripper's economy humble. This time, Velocity Gaming knocking on the doors of B. They haven't been here before, but they are glad to take up the space. Oh, Spike dropped at the hands of Excali. Can this be recovered?
You should run.
There's a treacherous smoke in the way, so they don't want to clear it. You don't know what's waiting on the other side of it. And meanwhile, Kaizen's made his way from the back lines.
And he finds one. And that's Big Man too. Big Man Eccles taken care of. And LFF is going to make his way all the way to the backside. They're going for an interesting plant here, but the Seekers are going to give it away. And these are huge Seekers from Kaizen. And you can tell how much they're relying on clutch. If Kaizen the Rippers, they're going to be falling on their faces. So Kaizen really does need this clutch in his hands. True Rippers, it's all going to boil down to this. A fake flash utilized from Kaizen, but Doma's going to read it.
Yeah, no way Kaizen would have been able to win that. They both played in different directions. One towards the left side, one towards the right side. And it would have been a deadly crossfire for Kaizen to clear out. I mean, Velocity would have to mess up really bad in order for Kaizen to be successful over there. That being said, True Rippers, they made some really nice moves. Again, it's something about True Rippers in eco rounds. They just invoke a good part of themselves, which is so experimental. So innovative. When else have you seen a flank from A lobby work out before for True Rippers? I haven't seen it before in this game. You probably won't get to see it either until another eco round comes through.
Ooh.
Right there.
True Rippers. They're being forced back. B controls taken away, and Deathmaker challenging this duel. That spray transfer is incredible. But Disrupt Shorty is also pulling off some nice shots. How does that even happen? Shorty at that range usually doesn't work, but Disrupt make it works no matter what. Now it's got the operator posted up as well. Deathmaker was the casualty, but he pretty much did his job. Also gave the man advantage to his team. Lockdown was invested to stop this entire prowl, stop this entire hunt. But as soon as the lockdown's going to be expired, Velocity will start executing their demonic plans once again.
This lockdown, I believe, was used a little too early. There's still plenty of time for Velocity to make their moves. But look at how passively True Rippers are playing. They don't know whether Velocity Gaming fell back towards the bottom of mid, or did they try to take control of Garage instead. And that's exactly why Wimp is playing from so far behind. All the way from defender spawn, practically. Because he doesn't know whether they'll pop up from Garage or will they pop up from C. Even not Hellfighter, even Pixels for that matter, was playing in a precautionary position towards A link in case Velocity decide to go elsewhere. True Rippers didn't expect that Velocity would come walking back into the B site.
Neither did I. And True Rippers. Oh man, okay, at least they do find the opening. That's a big one. That's going to be the equalizer. 3 more to go. Velocity, of course, every single player is just standing there like a strong wall. And now they're also going to try to stick defuse. Excali is aware of that. Finds the spam perfectly, and Excali will put the final nail in the coffin as well. Disrupt was the man who got sweeping up. But Velocity, another round under their belt. They're making it look so easy, running away with a huge lead.
Yeah, and True Rippers really need to make this one work, dude. I mean, the fact that Deathmaker is able to open up things like this, it's heartbreaking. True Rippers, they peaked him at the same time. It's not like they gave him 1v1s. This was a proper enough double peak, but Deathmaker is just too talented, man. On paper, True Rippers didn't make any mistake, but when you got done dirty by Deathmaker like that, you need to feel sorry. And in mid-game situations, Velocity almost always seems superior. Not just against True Rippers, but pretty much against every other opposition.
Tremor being used. Aftershock as well was utilized to force Ekka out of that spot. Are you?
I'm surprised that True Rippers haven't really played any aggressive moves yet. They see Velocity Gaming knocking on the doors of C, but I would have expected that someone from True Rippers would have pushed up a lobby by now. That is just starting to happen. You've got Disrupt going into its sewers. Then again, I would have expected him to be all the way towards despawn by now, you know? So this is still quite slow from True Rippers. They're taking their chances. They're expecting that Velocity Gaming will fall back. Little do they know that they will recommit towards C, and this time with even more ferocity.
It's just interesting. Velocity is really taking their time with executing each site. And the amount of times that's taken, True Rippers really just starting to second guess their decisions. They don't exactly know if the site's going to be hit or not, or maybe it's just a fake. But every single time, Velocity ends up taking that site, which they are planning right off the bat. Kazin on the sky, the flash was utilized but nothing found, and now Disrupt, the last man up and alive. He's got every single player facing him.
Yeah, these economic situations from True Rippers seem to be brutal, dude. This is what, their third eco round in 9 rounds so far? 33% of the rounds they never had weapons to fight with.
Interesting round. 1-8 is the scoreline, and Velocity Gaming, they're now having a huge lead. True Rippers, they're gonna start a sweat. They probably didn't even see this coming in their dreams, but oh boy, Velocity. These guys are just making it look like a piece of cake. True Rippers is one of those teams that we thought is one of the strongest contenders inside this entire South Asian regions, but Velocity Gaming is ripping through them.
Yeah, it's like a hot knife running through butter. Nothing seems to be stopping them. Disrupt dashes away, hoping to escape from certain death. But there's a reason why they call him Deathmaker. And look at him extending even further. It doesn't matter that Wimp is able to kill him. He's cleared up so much room for his team. Luckily, True Rippers this time see the hit coming and they're stacking up the C-side correctly. Wimp and Pixels really good on this defense. RU missed the opportunity, and that's the mistake that Velocity were waiting for. Hellfighter given a 1v2 again. He's got an impressive track record in clutches, but Kaizen finally puts a blemish on that.
Kaizen this time just instantly connects an headshot to his face. No chance for Hellfighter to pull off anything. But Disrupt, this move was quite panic. He knew that someone was approaching him. He knew it, but it was a little too late to dash away. Might as well should have taken that fight and tried to take the odds. But it's okay. It's the heat of the moment. You can't really blame the player. Velocity Gaming is going to go for a timeout. Interesting. Even though they're on such a huge lead, they're still going to go for a tactical timeout as soon as they dropped one round.
It's the brain games, bro. It's the brain games. They don't want to let True Rippers have even a glimmer of hope, let alone the time to take a breather and readjust themselves. And now True Rippers, up until now, they were glad that they got this one extra round in the bag, but now they will be thinking to themselves, how will Velocity adapt? Will Velocity, will they even change anything? Or is this timeout just to add a little bit of mental pressure onto their opponents?
I think so it's mostly
you gotta
just,
dig deep over here.
Yeah. I think so it's just mainly to add on a little bit of more pressure too, and just to tell, the coach was probably informing them why you guys lost that previous round. Because you guys did this, that, and that's why you guys lost that previous round. So maybe in the upcoming round, Velocity Gaming will try to execute a site in full force once again.
Yeah, basically stuff that you do in VOD review in the game itself. I doubt it is like a analysis of what got them to lose the round, but let's see Velocity Gaming adjust. Instantly we can see a change in their defaults, right? Up until now, Velocity was sticking together wherever they go. Now they're splitting up. They have 3 members attacking C, 2 making noise towards A. They do finally regroup, but there was a tiny bit of difference in their defaults. At least the way they start with the rounds did change. And now that they've acquired the man advantage again, they can always stick together.
That's huge info being given away by Kaizen. Spotted one player. The flash as well is going to give away another.
Fighting alone?
Yeah, he just really wants to go for that kill. Rolling Thunder was utilized as well, and look at Kaizen, he's stunned, he can't do anything. Too many stuns on his way, and VLT, they make their march on the A site. An easy control taken. Deathmaker and Excali in the Underheaven side. And for True Rippers to get the site back in their hands, it seems like next to impossible. It's a 3-on-5 scenario. And in these post plants, Velocity Gaming has always been so good and so perfect. Wimp, will he go for this fight? And he will. This man is quite a... Oh, what was that fight? But it didn't work out in the end.
And one might think that using a Rolling Thunder on Kaizen alone is a little bit of an overkill, but you have to consider that Kaizen himself was feeling a bit desperate. Under normal circumstances, a Sky playing alone towards Sewer will never peek on her own. They'll never try to go for the fight by themselves. They would if there's multiple people over there. So Velocity just assumed that True Rippers was thinking rationally. They assumed that there's at least 2 players in Sewers, and they then tried to push them with the Rolling Thunder. Turns out it was only Kaizen by himself, and then they are pleasantly surprised because they win the round regardless. But yeah, the fact that Kaizen decides to peek there by himself all alone tells you how much mental pressure True Rippers have in their craniums right now.
Disrupt's down to only 40 HP, and they've lost out on Argue right off the bat. Not a good news for True Rippers. Once again, inside this round as well, it seems like they're getting ripped apart. They're getting read like a book. Wimp on a flank. This is something that True Rippers haven't done so far, so definitely should add a little surprising element to the game. And Wimp catches one man slipping by. It's going to be Excali. So not inside the game anymore. One initiator cut off on each. And True Rippers don't exactly know what the plan's coming in, and Velocity Gaming, they're going to reroute their way back to C-Site. Wimp is jump spotting everyone, and he will spot more than one player. That means the C-Site execute is coming in. Instantly, lockdown will be invested.
Yeah, but I think Velocity have enough time to plant before this lockdown can actually detain them. This actually ends up working out for them, you know? The Cosmic Divide also makes sure that True Rippers can't shoot Velocity Gaming as they're falling back towards C-Long, so it creates a passage for them to even fall back. But now that the Diffuse comes through, the Gravity Wells will have to come into play. Spams will now work because the Cosmic Divide expires and Hellfighter moves in from Garage. The alarm bot being broken doesn't really ring alarm bells for True Rippers because they still have to deal with this hailstorm of bullets being thrown their way.
Oh my god. Velocity. What are you guys doing? Give them a little breather.
Nah.
Just shredding them. They don't even care. Deathmaker had a 4K. This man is just going absolute demonic mode.
And it doesn't even seem like he's playing beyond his means, that he's stepping up above and beyond his usual palette of destruction.
Yeah.
It just seems like another day in the office for him.
Yeah, he's making it look so easy. That's what I'm exactly saying. The entire squad of Velocity, they're making it look too easy. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the second half.
Hit for my wings, I need my eggs. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came on the wings, I get it in.
The all-new i20 Born Magnetic.
Hit for my wings, I need my eggs. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came on the wings, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In the second half, where 10-2 is the scoreline. All the odds are stacked with the players of Velocity Gaming so far. Deathmaker's on a tear. You've got HellFF delivering the consistency, and Doma is there as a support all the time, supporting his team. And now Velocity Gaming being pushed on the defense side. I'm a little scared for True Rippers because so far, whatever they've been trying, things haven't been working out on defense. So I'm wondering how are True Rippers going to make it work on attack.
barrage of flashes coming out from Garage as well. Could have let Deathmaker have his second frag, but it seems like True Rippers recognize that there's way too much resistance towards mid, so they gamble towards A instead, where Excali lies in wait. Up until now, Velocity Gaming were moving fearlessly. More fearlessly than you can with the Philips one play, but Excali shock dart through land directly on Disrupt's feet, burns him away, and another one!
Oh my god.
This
what
man
this?
is electrifying.
What are we witnessing right now? Velocity Gaming. This team is ripping them. I know I've been saying this over and over again, but you guys really need to understand, True Rippers isn't one of those teams that is easy to read. True Rippers is one of those teams that we all had high hopes from. And if Velocity Gaming is making this competition look this easy, then I can already imagine, oh boy, this team, which heights this team can reach.
Yeah, at this point, Velocity Gaming are handling True Rippers like a mold of clay. Just bending them to their will. Deathmaker has absolutely no chill, no fear, no remorse too.
He's straight up just going for those duels. He's not even scared of the aim.
Yeah?
Usually
Why
inside
would he be?
duel, we all know that chances of you coming out on top is 50-50, but he's still going for the odds and he's coming out on top all the time. For him, the odds are a little different, I guess. But Deathmaker this time will be stunned out, forced out of his position. And Velocity Gaming, they'll need to read this push, and they exactly do. The drone was so perfect, spotted every single player of True Rippers.
And the rotations are already inbound. Velocity Gaming look to box them in. You've already got Doma as well as Hellfighter moving in from mid and C-Long respectively. So there's no fallback for True Rippers. It's either a full A-side commitment or death.
Death. And that's what it so far looked like for True Rippers. But there's still some semblance of hope as these players are trying to fight back. Doma's flank from the back is huge and he finds three. And he might just be able to clutch this one.
No.
Or not clutch exactly. Just mop up the entire floor. And that's what he does, Doma.
Dude, at this point, Velocity aren't just moving fearlessly, they are moving quite shamelessly. Who jumps in to go for a melee hit like that? Nobody but the M King.
Enemy remaining.
Who else but Excali? Oh, Anna Producer had to slow it down to just rub that extra salt into the wound. Ouch. I would say that this is a nice move fearlessly movement by Philips, but unlike that knife, Philips will never cut your skin.
Darts utilized. The players are now starting to soften up, and look at the amount of value that was gathered from that dart. Excali finds a perfect spam as well. And VLT, oh boy, they're just stacking them up on top of each other. Two more players to go. It's a 2-on-3 scenario. The flash was perfect, but the cover 5 from Eccles is always on the point. Pixel's the last man left alive, 19 HP to support him. Doesn't have a lot to go. And he's also getting tacked up by the drone. Excali with a pre-fire to shut it down. Velocity with a dominating victory over True Rippers on the first map of Haven. The upcoming map is going to be Icebox. So True Rippers will need to make something happen on Icebox.
Yeah, dude, True Rippers, they were beaten mercilessly in this particular game. They will have to be ice cold going into the next game. They will have to have a lot of chill in their veins, a lot of calm in their brains to make this comeback happen if they want to push this game to map number 3. Otherwise, it's GG.
Oh boy, I mean, they just made it look so easy. None of us expected this happening. As I said, True Rippers is one of the strongest contenders inside South Asia. This entire lineup is a quite strong lineup, but Velocity Gaming, they just easily defeat them, make it look like a piece of cake. But with that being said, it's time for us to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the other side.
Hit for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
The The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Making dreams come true and memories happier.
I know my destiny. I know my destiny. I know my destiny. I know my destiny.
I know my destiny. I know my destiny. I know my destiny. I know my destiny.
Upcoming map, that's gonna be Icebox. And with that being said, welcome our lovely and cute YouTube audience to the second map over here. The first map was absolutely dominated by Velocity, but now True Rippers, they might just have a little glimmer of hope on the map of Icebox because it's their pick. So let's see the agent composition and what's gonna be played. Sky's being picked, Disrupt on the Reyna. Interesting. We're not seeing that Jip being pulled out. Crips. And oh, what? Phoenix?
On Icebox? I mean, I knew that True Rippers were cooking up something nice, but I didn't expect it to be this innovative.
I don't know how these spike plants are gonna go, because Sage Wall is just so crucial in those spike plants. A lot of the times on Icebox, you can just block off the entire enemy site, go for the spike plant, and pretty much just make it back to safety. But this Phoenix Wall, or this entire Phoenix mix inside the Icebox composition, I don't know how it's gonna work out. But hey, True Rippers, they are one of the good teams out there, so hopefully they have a backup plan.
Well, let's see how this is gonna pan out for True Rippers. This is quite a bold composition. The Viper, Sky, and Soa is something that I expected, but Reyna? Hold on. And then Phoenix, that is even more bonkers.
Man, I mean, I'm a little scared. Our True Ripper's just gonna go for the aim duels? That's what the composition looks like.
If they are
We've got
going
the
for
Reyna
aim
leader
duels,
pretty much. And we know how deadly Reyna can be once you start hitting your shots.
if they are going for these aim duels, then Deathmaker really needs to step up again. He's already shown us what he's made of. And Aryu this time pushing the envelope, but the flash, slightly unfortunate. They're not committing to the plant just yet, and Velocity Gaming are getting the kills on them.
Spike
What are
down
these
A.
fights taken by True Rippers? No, you don't need to push in that deep. Just get the spike plant, fall back. But True Rippers, they didn't even get the spike plant down. Both those players just pushed up deep, and they got absolutely demolished by the Classics. And Velocity Gaming, some light work being done on True Rippers. And Wimp, once again, the last man left alive, and he's trying to close in the distance as well. And Velocity Gaming, they mop him up. What was that round?
I mean, I admire the boldness of True Rippers. I like the fact that they are being
enemy remains.
wildly innovative, so I will give them credit for it. But that missed flash, it kind of starts to set off alarm bells in my mind, and I'm starting to think this is not going to end well for True Rippers. I would be glad if they can prove me wrong. I would be really, really happy if they can make this lineup work. This is a very fighting-heavy composition. Quite a lot of flashes available, but then again, Icebox is the kind of map which has too many corners, so dodging flashes does become slightly easy. But let's see if True Rippers can make it work.
That was a good recon dart to force out Hellfighter from his spot. Snakebite's utilized as well, but now the players are going to be softened up. Hellfighter's able to line him up. He's able to stack the bodies. Aryu pushes up, gets the kill. Excali on top. And Doma as well now starts creeping up from the back. And VLT, once again, it's going to be an absolute cleanup. Wimp is always in the back, trying to pull something off for his team, but he whiffs the crucial shots. And now a player's in the back.
Ooh, I just noticed that it's not just the lineup that's wild and new. They've also replaced one of the players. Kaizen isn't really playing anymore. Techno has subbed in for him.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. And Techno is playing that Reyna, so he's going to be having a lot of pressure on himself. Considering he didn't even play the first map, he didn't get to experience the velocity power.
One enemy
Yeah,
remaining.
so now True Rippers believe in sharing, you know, every little, all the players get to experience what it's like to face Velocity. That's good, that's good. You get the big boss out of the way, you prepare for this big battle, and then going forward in the tournament, True Rippers won't have to fear anyone because they've already faced the biggest boss there is.
And also for this match, Velocity is going to have such a huge lead on the overall standing, so that's big. Techno's going for the spike plant. Finally, True Rippers, they're going to get a spike plant down. And over again, True Rippers, they're just hammering down on the B site. A lot of pressure's being applied. That's a perfect flash, but he's not going to find both of them. Excali this time bounces back. Shuts down the man. Aryu taken care of, and VLT, they've got 3-player off their own. It's a 3-on-3 situation. Definitely doable. Disrupt on the close. Behind Yellow. He's got the players approaching him. He falls back, at least for now. But Disrupt knows he will be approached soon enough by a lot of players. Doma as well is following it up with hella theft, but nothing found.
Nice, True Rippers finally make this one work. The run it back clears quite a lot of room for his team, and they're able to go ahead and plant on the back of it. No re-aggression from Velocity towards Snowman to stop the spike plant or anything. Nobody even interrupted them from Orange, so now you know the Phoenix is really providing value. But True Rippers will have to use this Phoenix relentlessly again and again in order to get this much land grab. Excali, on the other hand, coming in from the backlines, distracted True Rippers long enough. It allowed his teammates to move into its Yellow in that retake scenario, but now that Velocity Gaming also are playing quite aggressively, how will True Rippers make this one work? Instantly, they've sealed off the B entrance with the Barrier Orb as well as the Poison Cloud. So, for now, True Rippers don't have a free entry into the site.
The wall's being utilized too. And True Rippers, they're over and over again just hitting the B site. It's quite an interesting way to put a lot of pressure on the players. Hellfighter, he's going to try to take those duels no matter what. Disrupt has found his way inside the site. And Techno on the sky. Definitely
Take flight.
things are looking quite interesting. True Rippers, they're taking their sweet little time, but the problem is they can't even go for the spike plant because there's no Sage in their entire agent composition, which can block the entire line of sight and also block the bullets. So True Rippers, they really need to go for this head-on-head collisions, these fights, to get rid of the enemy players.
Yeah. The only thing that can probably protect him is the blaze from Phoenix, that massive firewall along with the Viper wall that could probably cut off line of sight, but it won't protect the planter anyway. And Deathmaker Excali just turn up the heat. They are getting all the kills needed. Wimp, left by himself, has very little time to plant. He's gonna be better off trying to go ahead and kill Excali, and Excali does offer him the 1v1, but Wimp doesn't have eyes on the back of his head, and Excali outmaneuvers him.
Why does it feel like True Rippers have given up?
I don't think so. If they would have given up, they wouldn't go for this bold new composition.
Maybe this new composition is the way to show that they've given up. I don't know, man. Personally, I don't know what sort of composition is this. If there was a Jet, I understand that the Jet's probably going to be dashing in the side, trying to make some space. But you've got a Phoenix and a Reyna. Usually you don't even see Reyna being played a lot or that much inside a competitive scenario, because she just doesn't really have that much amount of utility to take the map control.
Okay. Sudden drop in the pace from True Rippers. A lineup like this really requires pace and momentum to keep it going. And when Velocity Gaming can halt it like that, it kinda is a red flag. Lambot broken, and this triggers the Nano Swarms. That's exactly what True Rippers needed. They wanted to get rid of all the KJ util, but they have to get rid of the Mr. KJ himself. Doma is still alive and kicking. Well, not anymore. The moment I say that, Ayu gets the better of him. The flash goes just a little beyond Hellfighter's head, and he's still got his eyes open. Pixels delivers though, and Deathmaker finally, whatever showcases that Pixels had for us have now been shattered.
And Wimp, once again, the last man left alive. Don't even know what's going on with True Rippers at this point in time. They're pushing the B site over and over and over again, even though it's not working out in their favor. It's time to switch things up, send someone on the lurk, or try to do something. Use some sort of distraction. You can definitely try to do that. You've got two duelists. You can send one duelist to make some distraction on the other site and try to get some kills, and the others can try to sneak somewhere else. You need to start filling out those details inside the game, because if that's not being done soon enough, then Velocity Gaming once again will start running away for the huge lead. 3 wants to score. The spike plant's going as well. Hellfeff's gonna hear it, and he peeks out.
I would hate to be in Wimp's shoes right now. Being stuck in a 1v2, 1v3 all the time, especially when you don't have any information. I mean, he made the best move possible over there. He tried to go towards mid, hoping that he would be offered a 1v1, he would be offered a fair fight, but that did not happen. Had to plant at the last moment, and at that point you can't really go ahead with the fake spike tap and hope to lure your enemies out. Not when there's that little time remaining on the clock.
Revealing area.
I'm just trying to think over this agent composition, and I'm trying to think all the possible ways you can play with this.
Joke's over.
And
You're dead.
even if they are able to be, or even if they do pretty good on this attacking side, I'm just trying to think of how they're going to be playing the defense. But what was that? The run and gun this time, it works out perfectly. Aryu finds the opening. As I said, send some men on distraction, and that's what exactly he's done. Excali, though, on the other hand, finds a man with the Hunter's Fury. Aryu being shut down. That was a good Hunter's Fury utilized. Deathmaker's ready for them on the A site. And True Rippers, they collect the orb and they fall back once again because Techno is able to sneak in all the way deep. Eccles has got no idea, but he's still expecting someone to be there. He's looking around him. Eccles should have given the call away that I don't have the B-side control anymore. There's a high chance someone might have sneaked in. And that's why you see he's so unaware. That's where you see he's just looking around over and over again, but this time he gets caught.
Yeah.
30 seconds
I mean,
left.
Eccles made the right call over there, giving up on the B side, reinforcing mid instead. given the way this round started, it would be the wiser thing to do for Velocity to stick together. But now that the Seekers have given away their position, Disrupt looks to take first contact yet again. The utility from Velocity pushes them back. True Rippers now are opting to go back towards the default post-plant positions, except Wimp is now on the lurk. He will need to play the timing down to perfection. Nobody's dealt with instantly.
Deathmaker's gonna expect it. The Velocity team is gonna expect it. 2 more to go. 3 players alive on the side of True Rippers, and this time they're coming out on top of these duels as well. Techno is proven out to be quite a crucial man. Excali could have clutched it. That was way too close for comfort, but True Rippers, they finally sneak in another round.
It starts to look more and more bleak. Great performance from Techno.
One enemy remaining.
A nice move, fearlessly moment by him, but how much can you possibly do at that point? True Rippers extended a lifeline with that win. Velocity Gaming finally broke, so now the money situation starts to get a little better, but Deathmaker's already used up his blades.
On the site, are you taking the fight up close and personal? Finally, we're seeing some side switch of being done. Aryu was on the site, got greeted by Excali Sheriff instantly. Velocity. They've got 1 man on the site. Eccles this time is looking to close some heads, and he exactly does so. 2 nice shots, and what's Velocity Gaming? They win a thrifty round. They win an eco round. That's a huge statement from Velocity. Another glimmer of hope taken away from True Rippers.
Yeah, and the number of flashes that True Rippers have on them don't really do much when they're poised with this massive toxin screen in front of them. The flashes don't really do much to clear the way ahead of it, and the moment it drops, Velocity Gaming are prepared for this one. True Rippers had a lifeline extended to them, given the economic situation. They just put Velocity in, but now they themselves are back in the economic trenches.
Look at this aggressive push! And Eccles, with the help of Deathmaker, makes the push happen. But Techno's classic this time is just so crisp. Eccles and Excali were dealt with. But they've still got demons like Hellfighter, Doma, and Deathmaker alive.
Got your trail.
True Rippers, on the other hand, they should have a fair chance of securing this round of the back in their hands. But Deathmaker, his position's being compromised, but he's still not falling back. True Rippers, on the other hand, they're trying to bring some surprise element inside the game. They're trying to make a switch. Moving towards the B side, Hellfighter might just be able to capitalize on this.
Hightailing it towards the B side. Velocity Gaming opts to give it up again. It would be wise, you know. I mean, considering that True Rippers have the kind of lineup that has so many flashes, their prime objective is to push Velocity Gaming away from the default defensive positions and push them deeper into the map. So True Rippers are basically going for a massive land grab. But then comes Doma from the back lines, and all their post-land positions now have been nullified. At this point, True Rippers have no choice but to play from inside the pit. Aryu, on the other hand, he separates himself from his fellow Viper. Goes towards Snowman instead.
The lockdowns just placed so perfectly. And True Rippers, they've got no other choice than to give the site control away. Last man alive. Aryu misses majority of his shots. And again, Crips, I mean, as I said, no Sentinel on the map of Icebox. That just sounds really tough to me.
Girl down.
Oh, and the lockdown just really makes me feel sad for Wimp. It's not a lot of rounds in which True Rippers will get to plant the spike. And in the few rounds where they're actually able to do so, the Viper Spit should have secured them the win. It's not like the man deficit was too much for True Rippers to deal with, but the lockdown just nullifies his entire existence over there. And that also forces him to be separate from Aryu, which just makes things even harder. And now the Wimp is gone. There's basically no control around this team, so how the True Rippers move in? I guess shooting your way inside is a good move. Disrupt starts things off that way.
That's what the composition is for, right? Take the duels to their faces. Reyna and Phoenix, that's what their job is. Kill as many players as you can. Find as many duels as you can. But this time the flank's waiting. Velocity. A nice and a calculated move. With the recon drone utilized. Techno cleaned off as well. Last man to go is going to be Disrupt. But the position's uncompromised. But the spam's going to be more than enough to get him.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. True Rippers. Have they dug their own grave with this bold new composition? Because it's not working the way they intended it to. They tried to go for a massive fighting-based lineup, but what's gonna happen when Velocity don't give you fair duels? When they hold all these cheeky angles, when they try to outflank you rather than give you the duels that you've been looking for? That's what happens when there's no plan B. And Velocity Gaming are more than comfortable giving away map control to TRS, giving away the plant areas, and then fighting them later on in positions in which True Rippers aren't really comfortable in.
Oh boy, a tactical timeout. And a needed one too. Velocity Gaming, once again, it seems like they're just starting to run away with the lead. And this timeout from True Rippers, don't exactly know what this timeout's going to bring any sort of difference, but the composition they've brought inside the map of Icebox is quite interesting. So far, it has been working out. And on defense as well, I am just really worried. If this composition isn't going to work that well on attack, I highly doubt it's going to work well on defense.
On defense, I guess, you know what? It might actually work out on defense. Consider this, True Rippers, they need to just play these positions in a very aggressive fashion, right? They get their players into these deep positions, which act like early warning system every time Velocity is approaching an area. And Velocity is the kind of team that will play it nice and slowly. They like to slow things down, take it tactfully. And when you've got your defenders in such aggro positions, then they might just be able to get a read onto Velocity because they can hear them from such deep positions. So, yeah, I mean, on paper, theoretically, there's a chance that this bold lineup from True Rippers can work on the defense side. But then again, you have to take it with a pinch of salt. This only works on paper. Whether it can work for real is something we'll have to see.
But again, you can't make that thing over and over again where you can't position your players that aggressively all the time on the deep angles. Then they're going to be expected. Yeah, it might work once or twice, but then later on it's going to be expected all the time. Velocity will start checking those angles, so it's not going to work out. That's what exactly I'm saying. I don't think so. This composition is going to shine that well on defense. But again, we're just making speculations. We're just trying to go off of the analytical stats. So nothing much confidently can be said yet. True Rippers, of course, on the attack. Things haven't been working out. Those flashes aren't really looking on the point. Reyna, she is taken, but even she isn't able to make a lot of impact on the map, so...
Yeah. I mean, you really need to start making those flashes count. You've got 3 characters that can come up with flashes like these. 2 of them are good blinds. Yes, the Phoenix flashes are kind of restricted by range, but the Leer is a decent enough way to cover a large amount of area.
I mean,
so
even Leer can be broken so easily. And inside a professional game, that's what exactly happens. The problem with Reyna, or the reason why Reyna isn't being played inside the professional play, is because her utility isn't that well, or her utilities, it doesn't support her teammates. She is a complete solo character.
Yeah, that's true. And although we have seen a couple of teams use Reyna in the past on Icebox, it is partially because they have other characters that can set up Reyna for success too. And it usually comes at the cost of Jet, right? I mean, because TRS don't have any character that can instantly dive and cover the ground, like let's say a Raze or a Jet, they will have to stick together and play as a unit. When they play as a unit, they better hope that their trades work, because Velocity Gaming are good at breaking open these crossfires. Oh, Plant committed a little too long, but there's no way that you can run away. The slow really puts him in his grave over there. And the Hunter's Fury to finish the job.
It's like True Rippers every single time, whichever side they're trying to execute, they're just walking in their own death trap. And Velocity Gaming, they have these defense set up so well. They're playing on those crossfires. Their trades are on the point. But usually they don't even need a trade because True Rippers, they're just not able to win those duels. This might sound like we're highly favoring Velocity, but guys, we're just speaking what's happening on the game, and it's, I know, I am one of those people that likes a nice underdog story. I was favoring, if you guys saw it in the pregame segment, I was favoring Team True Rippers. I thought that True Rippers do have a valid chance of winning this entire game because with the way they looked on their first match, on their debut match, I thought there's a high chance that True Rippers will be able to shock Velocity Gaming, but so far it doesn't seem like the case.
I mean, they shocked us for sure.
Yeah.
Blinded.
Reveals quite a lot of information. How is it still not broken? Well, at least after being pinged away, True Rippers try to explore the tube region. The turret does ping away the locations. Techno can't hold on, but at least this is a new avenue that True Rippers are exploring, so I'm glad that they're trying new stuff. This is the first time they've taken Tube's control, and they've been able to at least neutralize the kill on Doma, so let's see where it takes them. They've lost the man advantage in the process, but something is better than nothing.
I mean, I don't think so they've got anything so far. They are near tubes, yeah, but they've given the tube control away as well. Pixels is sneaking in, and I don't think so Excali's going to be expecting Pixels to be this close, and Pixel finds one, but the instant trades are there. And all the time, as I said, Velocity, they're just so aware of that fact. And as I said, Disrupt, he does use that Leer for the advantage, but it gets instantly broken by Velocity. Serena flashes, of course, they're not that good on high level. And Velocity, they just run through.
No, the utility and the flashes are one different thing. I mean, in this round, I guess if they all just stuck together and tried to move in towards mid to A, it probably would have worked. Wimp had his poison screen still remaining, so he could have probably deployed that to cross that treacherous gap between Boiler and CT. And then quickly make their way into the A site. If he probably used that, then they would have been able to cross, but Wimp was far away from his teammates. So it's basically Disrupt fighting by himself, Wimp fighting by himself. Techno, I don't even know how he lost this duel. It just seemed so unfortunate.
Oh,
Spike down.
that's huge! And the Phoenix will be taken care of as well. This time, Velocity, they were ready with the proactive approach. And Deathmaker and Eccles, they just mopped the floor. They just cleaned the entire A site. But now it looks like a graveyard because True Ripper's bodies are on the floor. And now Wimp once again, the last man alive. Oh, man. Velocity. They just absolutely ran through on the first half. Once again, just dominated the entire True Ripper squad. And it's understandable too for VLT. They're just able to read into them like a book.
One enemy remaining.
I mean, forget the reads, dude. There's one thing about reads, and there's another thing about having a compositional diff. There's a compositional diff over there because this is the kind of lineup which only works when it's played together. All these flashes, all these duelists have to stick together if they want to make a cohesive execute work. You can't really split up, play defaults, and spread out across the map with a lineup like this. So that's an inherent weakness. So every time Velocity Gaming see one member of True Rippers, they can be sure that the rest of them aren't far behind.
Exactly. I mean, there's still the defensive side left, though, for True Rippers, and that might just be a huge glimmer of hope. But with that being said, that's it. Going to be the first half. We'll be back with the second half after this short break.
Hit for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the wins, I get it in.
The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Hit for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the wins, I get it in.
And the second half begins on the 10-2 mark. For Velocity, they have a huge lead, and now they've got the pistols back in their hands. And if Velocity Gaming is able to secure this pistol round, then everyone knows that the entire storyline's going to be clear in front of their eyes. Velocity will probably start to run away with the lead.
Velocity this time, trying to barge into the A side. Wimp waiting on the cross. Good surprise element from him as he pops out of that toxin. But Doma is still holding the back lines, and before the backstab from True Rippers comes through, it's been intercepted.
Oh my god. True Rippers, I like the thinking there to try to be aggressive from the opposite side and from the mid as well, but that aggressive nature just didn't work out. The man on the side, Wimp, did give them a huge boost, a huge man advantage, but instantly that advantage was dropped as well because True Rippers, they are just not able to win those duels, and Velocity, they're always on top.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it doesn't even have anything to do with your lineup or your agent selection, you know? It's just Velocity is showing you why they are the bosses. Every single one of them is firing on all cylinders, and whether it's individual fragging and firepower or whether it's the whole team coordination, Velocity Gaming are superior. And True Rippers need a miracle to save them now. 1 round away from map point, 1 round away from securing the series. True Rippers have to throw in everything. They go in for the force spy. Bulldog on Wimp. Everyone else on Spectre, Stinger, Sheriffs, name it. True Rippers have it. But is that going to be enough though? So far, the triple stack from True Rippers has managed to repel Velocity away from B. But if Velocity hit A, there's no defense over here.
Yep. And as soon as the A side hit is confirmed, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a huge wave from B just coming to A. And that's what exactly is going to happen. The Sage Wall goes up, the Spike Plant goes down. Shocktars are invested to try and stop the plant, but that's a little too late. Eccles is back in position, and back in action is Doma. Finds Pixel, opens the fray up. Wimp on the backside on top of the rafters, looking to find some heads, but I don't think so. Velocity, they're going to give it away that easily. Every single player's just playing so disciplined. Velocity, even though they have such a huge lead, usually you do see one of those over-aggressive moments, but that's not happening with Velocity. They're looking quite disciplined, but this force spy from True Rippers, so far it's working out.
Revealing area.
Oh. Diffuse almost about to be stuck. Hellfighter and Excali needs to hurry up, and True Rippers give them everything they need. Wow! Hellfighter, that was a stylish end to the round.
Oh, that flick! One tap onto the head.
Juicy.
And also Chef's kiss to go close out the round. Interesting. Look at this. Oh, that one tap. And the Chef's kiss. Oh,
he did it himself.
Yeah. Oh, Velocity. What have you guys done to one of the powers from South Asia? Now we know how good God's Reign is.
Yeah, dude. I mean, when God's Reign are able to go up against beasts like these, it's very impressive. Really puts the power hierarchy in perspective.
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
Well, Deathmaker doing Deathmaker things on B. Ari tries to up, and Deathmaker is flashed. That's a good one. But the wall isn't broken yet, so the spike still goes down.
Look at that.
Still, Techno on the flank is able to mop some up. Is able to find those taps on the head, but that's all he's going to get. Disrupt once again on the Guardian, misses the shots, and his lifeline will be taken away. Last man to go is going to be RU from True Rippers. All eyes on him. Hunter's Fury invested too. RU instantly shifts on over behind yellow containers. And now it's going to start sticking the defuse once again. As soon as he does it, Hellfighter peeks out, and RU expects Excali on top of that box, but it's not going to matter. Excali will put the final shot in his dome to seal the deal, and Velocity, they come out victorious in a dominating way.
No words for this one, man. Velocity Gaming wrap up the day quite quickly. The night is still young, and Velocity Gaming have ended this game on a short note. I can't even imagine what True Rippers must be feeling right now, because Velocity Gaming haven't broken a sweat.
I personally don't know what that composition was. I'm not gonna like Crips. Like, I'm gonna be focusing on that composition over and over again. And a map like, especially on a map like Icebox, you need that Sentinel. And you're not gonna have the Sentinel role. I mean, something's wrong. Because you need to play a lot of the time on those informational plays, on those contact plays, if you've got the Killjoy cooking up.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't have the Killjoy, you need someone to like cover your planter, you know? Icebox is one of those maps where the defenders won't really show where they are hiding until they hear that spike being tapped. And as soon as that spike tap is heard, the Sova will send in his shock darts, the Killjoy will probably activate the nano swarms. If there's a Viper and if she's in position, she will use the snake bite to just kill the planter. That's usually what the Icebox meta looks like, at least for the defenders. And the only way a composition like this can deal with the problems is if you run deep into enemy territory. If True Rippers are able to not just get to the default planting areas, but go even beyond that and get some more area under their control, which is something they tried to do, but I would say that it was often overextension, you know? There's a thin line of difference between overextending and intentionally taking area which you shouldn't usually have control of in a map like Icebox. So they tried to change the status quo, they tried to shake up the meta by going super deep. Unfortunately, it backfired.
It didn't work out. All we know is that it just didn't work out. And Velocity, they just dominated. Honestly, there's not even a lot to add on to this, because whatever Velocity did, it's like they didn't even try to bring any sort of fancy plays to the table. They were just straight up winning those duels. And a lot of the times, they were also taking those proactive duels as well against the players of True Rippers. And True Rippers just weren't able to read into it. They didn't expect those proactive moves. They didn't expect that vertical advantage Deathmaker was taking on the defensive side over and over again.
It just felt like the flashes were not enough to blind Velocity. Since you have 3 characters in your composition that can flash, one would expect that Velocity would always have their eyes covered, but that wasn't the case.
That was definitely not the case, because Velocity Gaming, there's just better. That's all we can say, at least today, and that's what it looked like. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna push to a short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Can't for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Making dreams come true and memories happier.
On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only family, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only family, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only family, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only family, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track,